Hey, Ubermobile here. I feel I need to say something about current events, so here's a bit of a splurb from me. I've been playing Team Fortress 2 pretty much since it came out around late 2007. I've seen the game develop from a rather straightforward team-based shooter to the crazy amazing game it has become today. I played the PS3 version for about the first year and a half of the game's life, so I sadly missed the first few major updates but started playing on PC just around the time the Scout update came out. I've been through Sniper vs Spy, Soldier vs Demo, the game going free to play, hats being added, the original Hatpocalypse, replay being added and ignored, the Manco store and trading, Pyromania, Man vs Machine, End of the Line, Meet Your Match, Jungle Inferno, countless Screen Fortresses, and probably a whole heap of other game events that I have totally forgotten about because there's just so many. While TF2 technically still has players and a decent following, it's pretty clear the game is in a decline. I find that a bit odd given how culturally relevant the game continues to be. I mean, slap Heavy doing a funny face on a thumbnail and bam, you get a minimum 100,000 views on a video. That being said, there's no denying the game is getting ignored by its own creators at Valve. Gotta give a shout out to Squim Jim for getting the attention of quite a few big gaming news outlets. I honestly didn't think anyone cared enough about this old game to even write about anything, but I'm very glad to be proven wrong. I would really hate for TF2 to go the way of Half-Life 2 Deathmatch or Day of Defeat Source, which is pretty much 5 dads just playing against each other over and over. The only updates these games receive is the odd security patch and nothing more, just left to linger in a slow decay. But these games lack the aforementioned cultural relevance that TF2 has. Also, there's of course the bot problem. Bots and hackers have been a problem for years, but the last two have definitely seen a massive peak in it. At this point, if I see a sniper that's top scoring, I can without fail check their profile to see it's a new account with a blank profile pic and it's put on private. Even on the reasonably untouched Australian servers, it's now common for teams to have to kick at least 1 or 2 bots per game, and every 4th or 5th game is just one filled with bots. Bots have been a problem since at least 2016. Gee, I wonder what happened that year. In fact, one of my first YouTube videos to blow up was a video of me showing off some player running bots. I unlisted this video for a few reasons, mostly because it's not great, and I was whisper talking into the microphone because I wasn't a confident speaker yet, but also because talking about this in general feeds their egos. It's worth noting TF2 isn't the only game with a hacker and bot problem right now. The other TF2, Titanfall 2, has fallen to a similar fate of being ignored by its developer while bad actors ruin the game. And even in games you wouldn't expect hackers to appear in, they appear. But I feel something about hacking and botting in TF2 is just kinda evil. Like, the game itself isn't in the best state already, why are you kicking it while it's down? To be honest, with such an old game engine with probably a lot of documented exploits, I don't know if there's much the TF team at Valve can do about the issue. Still, the lack of any communication either gives me hope they're working on it and don't want to give the hack and bot makers a heads up, or more likely have largely given up on fixing the issue. I think there might be a few reasons for this. For starters, I hate to say this, but the current TF team, or what's left of it, might just be out of touch with what the players want these days. This is a second-hand account, but I've heard from a previous Saxy winner that I got an email from one of the TF2 team commenting that making their winning entry must have taken a lot of emails. And this was maybe only 3 years ago. It's not like services like Discord or Teams were not unknown. I just found that answer to be a bit of a granddad on the computer moment. And even looking at Jungle Inferno, Valve's own map contribution, Mercenary Park feels like it was from a pre-2010s version of Team Fortress 2, with its closed up corridors and small hallways. A lot of creator made maps were significantly better gameplay wise, in fact all of them were. I definitely wasn't the only one to notice this. Alongside that, it's pretty clear there are more interesting projects for people to work on at Valve than the old FPS that started cosmetic stores. There also seems to be a not my problem culture at the company that doesn't help the issue. Still, even lip service would be better than what we get now. Another issue I feel I need to talk about is the existence of casual and the effect it has had on how we play the game. Back in the good old days, everyone used the Steam server browser to find a game and join it. You could see what kind of server you wanted to join, where it was, what ping you'd get, and what map you were playing. Often players would chill on a 24/7 2-4 Mario Kart server, while waiting for a spot on a more popular server. We made our own waiting lobbies in a way. This was also the origins of friendlies and other related silly fun. And of course, plenty of weird maps. Of course there were bad operators. Many servers ran loud, annoying ads on their message of the day when you joined the server to squeeze a few cents out of everyone. Some going as far to lock you in until a set amount of time to force you to watch an ad. And there were countless trashy achievement and eventually idle servers that flooded the server browser. Manually removing these was never fun. Aside from these problems, however, I still think a server browser is the best way to join a multiplayer game. After many years of this system, quick play was added. This kinda made sense in retrospect because many new players would probably not understand how to use a server browser, a feature not really seen in modern games, but I don't think its execution was the best. Quick play put players on a Valve server or a community server that met a list of requirements. These requirements were things like keeping within certain player counts and only running certain in-game maps. I believe one of them was not to mess around with the message of the day, but I do remember a lot of annoying ad-laden servers getting past the filter. Generally, experienced players didn't like or use quick play and just kept using the server browser to find games. But it did mean some more dodgy server operators made servers to fish for those delicious newbie quick play players for views and ad revenue. I believe after a while quick play stopped putting players on community servers and just put you on Valve servers. This is around the time I first started seeing the hacking problem begin. Not really bots yet, just obvious spin and aim hacks. Once again, experienced players knew Valve servers were cesspits and not worth your time, and stuck to community servers, which were becoming less and less of a focus. Casual and competitive matchmaking was added with Meet Your Match, almost hiding community servers completely, railroading players to Valve's own servers. It didn't help that to complete contracts you need to play on these servers. Understandably, Valve's attempt to stop farming, but this also discouraged players from joining servers outside of casual. I would arguably say farming achievements up until this point was a fun way to make friends and was part of TF2 culture already. Forcing players onto Valve servers with randoms pretty much destroyed that part of the community culture overnight. Valve's own take on competitive never took off. I don't think I ever played a game of it outside of the Meet Your Match update. Casual is now the main way of playing TF2, and the once thriving community servers are now dead or gone. I used to play with the sizable surf community in TF2, but now it's dwindled to nothing. I live in Australia, and the only active community servers when I check the list is mostly servers faking ping and player numbers, 24/7 2-4 and high tower servers, nothing wrong with them but I would like to play with some more variety, and servers for custom game modes like 10x versus Hail and whatnot. Most servers here are empty. Even the beloved Uncle Topia servers are lacking players lately. Everyone plays casual because that's where everyone else plays. New players, experienced players, nice players, nasty players, hackers, bots, racists, homophobes, all play on the same server as one another. It's a mess. There's been quite a few valid arguments that matchmaking, not just in TF2 but pretty much every multiplayer game, has ruined the sense of communities FPS games once had. As mentioned before, there's no control on the end of the player whose game they join. You could end up with a group of players who think shouting the N-word every 5 seconds is the height of comedy. And God forbid if any of these companies running servers actually do some moderation. That's not even to mention what will happen to the game once these servers shut down. Funny enough, I would say matchmaking is probably the main reason Overwatch, TF2's biggest competition it's ever faced, never really took off as big as it could have. A focus on e-gaming made everyone act like sweaty tryhards with toxic attitudes. Imagine every game of TF2 being like man up and man versus machine, but with company imposed class limits, because everyone still wants to play a certain character. I was talking to another content creator by the name of Reimu, and we came up to the same solution to this problem. Remove casual. May as well remove competitive matchmaking while we're at it. But keep a few Valve servers running, so players in smaller territories have a place to play on. And finally make it so players can choose to join these servers outside of matchmaking, something you could do before Meet Your Match. If the Steam server browser is too scary for new players, I present to you the Gary's Mod server browser. I don't think Facepunch hosts any of its own servers. Every single one of these game modes is detected automatically and listed as far as I can tell. Yes, it's top heavy with RP game modes, and there's this weird collection of Russian servers that probably will give you spyware, but it's mostly what the players want. Maybe not the spyware, but everything else. You can quite easily filter out RP modes. I can see a TF2 version of this working out great. Filter by game mode type. Have a category for single map servers so you can get your fill of endless 2-fort. And some categories for custom maps like Jump versus Hail, Achievement Trade, and so on. I think the most important thing for TF2's future is to give players the choice of what they want to play and give more importance to the community. I don't think it would be wise to give complete control over given the track record of some of the TF2 community, but it's something that's definitely needed right now. I don't know how to properly end this video. It's kind of a bit ranty mixed in with some personal experience of the history of the game. It's honestly not a lot about TF2 in 2022, it's about how it is, I guess. So I'll talk about another video I made quite a while ago. The many deaths of TF2. I was somewhat optimistic towards the end, saying that even if TF2's support was dropped tomorrow, its legacy would live on. And while that certainly is true, the limbo state of Team Fortress 2 is not what I want. If support from the game is not something Valve wants to continue, then I want to hear it. I would be sad, but I would also be able to move on. My videos tend to focus on the older parts of the game anyway, so it's not like I wouldn't be able to make content. Plus there's plenty of other games with weird custom maps to look at. I guess I just want closure for anything really. I don't want to see another Source multiplayer game that just slowly drifts into obscurity. Well, that got a bit sad towards the end. You can still play TF2, it's just not as great as it was. And even in its current state, I'll still play it over other team-based shooters out today. I think that really says something about its longevity. I'd like to thank Reimu for looking over this script for this video, and I encourage you to check out their channel as they've been making some pretty good videos lately. With the help of fellow TF2 mapper Flurry, they finished a commission for an American football-themed pastime arena for others to play. I think it's really cool, give it a look. As for me, I've been busy, sorry about lack of videos if you're watching this as it comes out. Maybe I should look at some more weird maps.